Hello, my name is Mimi Schlichter, and I'm an artist here in Falmouth, and I am very excited to be the first artist in the new Falmouth Community Media Center here at FCTV. It's a brand new facility. You need to come by and check it out. I have just recently put up a show called Process, which I'll tell you a little bit more about in a moment, and it features 50 brand new paintings I've created within the last 8 months. I have always painted a very tight, it's impressionistic realism, but really working from photographs or working plein air to really recreate a scene. This past winter, quite by accident, I stumbled upon something new, which was one night I was working on a landscape, trying to work on it, working on it, and it was, as one artist friend of mine says, it was a misbehaving painting. It was not doing what I wanted it to do. And at midnight, I picked up a palette knife, frustrated, and just started to smear the paint everywhere. And it felt good, and it felt freeing. And the next morning I looked at it and said, this is kind of cool. Now, you need to understand that I don't know anything coming into this about abstract art. It's not something that I've really studied, but I know what I like. So I decided I would explore this a bit this winter and allow myself to paint just what I wanted to paint for me and let it be fun again instead of the tight paintings. And what happened was, for most of the month of January and February, it became the abstracts, which then morphed into realistic paintings, but done still just with palette knife. I had a single tool that I worked with. And the process, and the reason I've chosen that word is because very often artists are asked, what is your process? And I never really had an answer, because to say, well, I copy paintings, or not copy paintings, but I copy photographs, isn't really an appropriate answer. All of a sudden I had a process, because what I did with these, and actually the piece that's right behind me, if you've had opportunity to see that, was one of the first pieces. It was actually done with brush, not with palette knife, but I sat down very intentionally up close to the piece without anything in mind in terms of a destination. And something for you to know about me is that my faith, not just spirituality, but I'm a wear it on her sleeve Christian, is really important to me. And I've always struggled with, how does my art reflect that in what I'm doing? So I sat down one night with a large canvas that already had a sky in it, and just got quiet, prayed, asked for direction, and just allowed the paintbrush and the paint to go where it wanted to go on the canvas. And I sat back and said, wow, that's kind of cool. So when I started working on these abstracts, I took that same process to the abstracts of sitting down with no destination in mind. It's sort of like going on a road trip where you get in a car and you say, well, let's just drive wherever we feel like driving. So I sat down and I just would pick out a couple of tubes of paint, take the palette knife, maybe put on music, maybe just stay quiet, say a little prayer, and just see where it went. And what we have now are 50 paintings ranging from full-on abstract to a little bit closer to realism, as the title painting of the, if you've seen the publicity for the piece, for the show. And they really all have just come from this much deeper place. And my goal has always been to bring joy to the person who's looking at it. And now just really to add glory to God in the magnificent creation that we're in the midst of, whether it's the creative of the painting itself or it's a sky that it's showing. I've always loved, people ask me why I moved here 22 years ago from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and my answer has always been because I don't paint bloody battlefield scenes. I'm drawn to the sky, to the water, to the colors. There are actually a couple of paintings here that very intentionally you'll see some pink sunsets over the water. And the reason I've done those is because I've actually had galleries or commercial people who've seen some of my sunsets and said, well, our clients don't really like pink in a painting, which my answer is, well, go out and look at the sky. Because any of you who've ever watched sunsets on Cape Cod know there is just pink and purple abounding. It's not salmon, it's pink. So there are a couple of paintings that are full-on pink skies. There's some that are a little bit softer. They're impressionistic pieces that really were just using up old paint tubes and seeing what the color would do. And it's just been a really fun experience. It's been a little bit like running a marathon, just kind of one step at a time, one painting at a time, that now there are 50 brand new creations, never shown before, that will be here to be seen with an opening and closing, I guess, reception next Sunday, June 2nd from 3 to 5 p.m. Please stop on by, ask questions. I also am inviting people to give their comments on the pieces. I have some index cards in the lobby. You can help me name them because I couldn't name 50 paintings. So they're just up with image numbers, and I'm really looking to get feedback from people who take in the exhibit as to how does it move you? What sort of emotion does it bring for you? What do you think of when you see this abstract? One is a heart, one is a flower. Maybe it's something totally different. There's another piece behind me. Last December, somebody saw it and said they thought it looked like Santa's beard, which was nothing that I had in mind at the time. So it's meant to be fun, it's meant to inspire, it's meant to be engaging, and I just hope that you'll take the time, come take a look, and enjoy what I've done. Thank you.